Good morning, everyone. It is Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's video, we're going to be going over a winter storm that's going to be coming to the United States, which is going to be bringing about 1 to 5 inches across the Ohio Valley. But even some of the northeast United States could even experience maybe as much as 6 inches of snow, depending on how it plays out. But for the most part, we're expecting a general amount of around 1 to as much as 5 inches across the Ohio Valley and as well as the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. So we will be talking about this as we do head throughout the video, but right now we are actually starting to see the snowstorm already start to move through portions here of St. Louis and as well as into portions here of Illinois. But then as we continue to take this forward, this will quickly move into portions here of Indiana and then just make its way into portions here of Kentucky and then move through Ohio, West Virginia. But look at that, guys. Maybe even a little bit of freezing rain could mix in with that in some areas, with maybe up to maybe a tenth of an inch of freezing rain. We'll actually go ahead and look at the freezing rainfall totals in a little bit after this. But as we continue to take this forward, I see that will head out, and then if we continue the rest of this way, as you guys can see, it's looking to stay pretty dry across the Ohio Valley. We might see a few isolated showers every once in a while or so, but for the most part it is looking to stay dry, as you can see, because we're not nearly seeing as much storms moving through. But this will be our next big storm to watch for, it looks like. As you guys can see, it actually will drop maybe some heavy rainfall, and even this storm system right there could definitely do that. And then as we continue to take this forward, as you guys can see, it's looking to stay dry after that. So looking like it is going to be pretty dry across the Ohio Valley after the snowstorm moves through. And like I've been saying, isolated showers could definitely move through occasionally, but for the most part it is looking to stay pretty dry across portions here of the Ohio Valley. So we'll definitely have to be watching for a potential big storm to move through this area, but we just don't know when yet, because as of right now the GFS model wants to show that it will be dry. But if we look at the excessive rainfall outlook, as you see for today, we got less than 5% chance for flash flooding, and then as we head into tomorrow, we do have a slight risk for flash flooding across areas north of San Francisco. And so this will definitely be something to really watch for. This is pretty much in between Eureka and Santa Rosa, but if you do live in between Eureka and Santa Rosa, you're definitely going to want to watch for some pretty good flash flooding across this area right here. And this will be as we head into tomorrow, so it's not long before this happens. So if you do live in that area, get prepared right now before the flash flood starts tomorrow. And as we head into the day after tomorrow, which is pretty much Sunday into Monday, we do have another threat for flash flooding across California, but this one includes almost all the west coast of California, even includes San Jose and San Francisco too as well. So those areas will also have to be aware, but Santa Rosa will also have to be aware too as well. And even down here towards Los Angeles might also have to be aware, depending on if the Weather Prediction Center will choose to extend this or not, but we'll definitely have to watch closely. And then for day 4, as you guys can see, we got another threat for flash flooding. This one actually does include Los Angeles, but also doesn't include places like San Jose and San Francisco. This slight risk now just stays pretty much around the Los Angeles area and farther north. So Santa Maria will be one of the areas to watch very closely. But like I said, even down here towards Los Angeles, Semi Valley, Thousand Oaks, and places like that will also have to watch closely. Even Santa Barbara will also have to be on high alert for some pretty good flash flooding as we do head into Monday into Tuesday. Now, for day 5, as you guys can see, this threat for flash flooding just stays around the Los Angeles area, and again, this is from Tuesday into Wednesday, so make sure to be on extremely high alert if you do live in these areas. Now, if we take a look at your total snowfall with the snowstorm that's going to be moving through, as you guys can see, we are, like I said at the beginning of the video, we're talking general amount of around 1 to as much as 5 inches of snowfall, and as you see, most areas do stay around that, but even some areas could experience higher amounts, like West Virginia could be talking maybe around 10 inches in some areas, so that will definitely be something to watch closely there. But even back here in the portions here of the Ohio Valley, like look at Indiana could see a swath of around 4 inches, pretty much around the Vincennes area, and then back northeast across that area. But even over here in Illinois, look at that, guys, we see that swath of around maybe 1 to maybe as much as 3 inches, or I mean 1 to as much as 5 inches of snowfall could be possible across portions here of Missouri, even heading into Illinois. So that will definitely be something to watch closely there. But even back here in the St. Louis, look at St. Louis. St. Louis could see maybe around 4 inches of snowfall, which will be very dangerous out there. But it also depends on how warm the ground is, because if the ground's really warm, that we're talking not really accumulating snowfall, there's just the total that would fall down if it were to accumulate. But yeah, that will definitely be an area that we do need to watch, and even in here towards Springfield will also be an area to watch. I'm pretty sure that's right here, but other than that, Springfield will definitely need to watch. And yeah, so we're definitely gonna need to watch this storm system very closely, guys. And if we head into the New England area, okay, New England area is looking to see some pretty good snowfall too as well. Look at that, maybe a area of maybe up to 12 inches. Wow, that's a lot of snowfall right there. Up to 12 inches will be possible across portions here of the Northeast. And even down here towards West Virginia, like I've been saying, we could definitely be talking some pretty good snowfall there too as well. But even Vermont and New Hampshire will also see an area of maybe around 7 inches of snowfall. So that will also be something to keep an eye on. But if we go ahead and take a look at the European model next, European model wants to show a swath heading from Illinois back through parts of Indiana, showing about 4 inches. And like I've been saying, European model is the accurate model, so I'm just going to say I might believe this model a little bit more compared to the GFS model, but we'll see if this is really the case. But even back down here into portions here of Southwest Indiana, look at Southwest Indiana, maybe up to 4 inches there in Evansville. Wow. The GFS model wasn't even showing that much across that area. That is a pretty significant difference. Look at that, only 2 inches, and then the European model wants to show up to 4 inches there in Evansville. That is crazy, guys. So, I mean, I would still watch for a pretty good amount of snowfall if you do live in Evansville, but even Indianapolis will have to be an area that we do need to watch too as well. Look at Indianapolis, up to 3 inches, maybe even 4 inches could move a little bit farther to the east, but like even Springfield again will also have to be weather aware. Even back in here into portions of Ohio, like let's say Cincinnati and Columbus will be one of the areas that we do need to watch too as well. But even heading into portions here of Kentucky will also be an area that we do need to watch. Then if we head into the New England area, we'll see a pretty good amount of snowfall, not showing as much as the GFS model, but still showing a pretty good amount of around maybe 1 to 7 inches, 5 to 7 inches across this area right here. So there'll still be something that we do really need to watch closely, guys, to make sure to be on high alert for some possible heavy snowfall across this area. And now let's go ahead and look at the total freezing rain. So I'm going to go back to the GFS model, and I'm going to go to freezing rainfall totals, and yeah, I was actually right, maybe around 1/10 of an inch. Look at that, maybe even 1/2 an inch. Wow, 1/2 an inch of freezing rain might be possible across portions here of Kentucky, and even just 1/4 of an inch could definitely cause some pretty good impacts. Like when you're talking about a quarter inch of ice, you're talking power outages, more scattered than widespread, but still lots of power outages. You're talking slippery road conditions, but when you're talking over a quarter of an inch, then you're talking more in the way of widespread power outages, maybe even some very slippery road conditions, so thousands of cars could slide off the road. You might even be talking about some down power lines by that time too as well, and even uprooted trees will also be a possibility too as well. So just look how much ice there is, guys. That is crazy. But what about the other models? Well, the NAM model also plays a role in this too. And look, we actually got a little bit of agreement on at least a little bit of freezing rain right there. But NAM model also wants to show some freezing rain across West Virginia, but it also wants to show some in portions here of Missouri. The GFS model wasn't showing this much here in Missouri, but neither is it showing that much here in eastern Kentucky, but still showing a decent amount of around 1/10 of an inch. That's still enough to cause slippery road conditions, cause some maybe some moderate impacts. I should probably say moderate impact with maybe a power outages or two. But other than that, 1/10 of an inch isn't as severe compared to a quarter of an inch. And then now we're going to go to the travel impacts, and from today through the 19th of February, we are seeing actually some pretty widespread minor impacts across a lot of these areas. Like, look at this area, heading from Missouri into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, heading through West Virginia, back to all of Maryland, all of Delaware, all of New Jersey, almost all of southern Pennsylvania, back to parts of northern Virginia. Could definitely be talking about a lot of snowfall, and so there will definitely have to be something that we do really need to watch. But I can even see some moderate impacts across the Washington DC area, which I am surprised to see. And let's actually go ahead and look at that area. So we're going to go back to the GFS model. We're going to go to the GFS model, and we're going to go back to total snowfall, and then we're going to go to a different region, which will be the Mid-Atlantic. And as you guys can see, Washington DC right there actually maybe up to 6 inches, maybe just 5 inches, but for the most part maybe just up to 6 inches will be a possibility. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Washington DC area doesn't usually see that much. Or I mean, I didn't mean to say that. I'm just saying Washington DC hasn't had that much snow for a while, but now they are now. And so that definitely makes sense that some moderate impacts could be possible. But even with the European model on the total snowfall, sorry, I gotta go back again. Even the European model with the total snowfall, we could definitely be talking a similar amount compared to the GFS model. Yeah, actually maybe up to 4 inches could be possible. So pretty good snowfall for Washington DC. That will definitely be something that we do need to watch closely. But yeah, so definitely be weather aware if you do live in Washington DC. But let's go ahead and take a look at our temperatures now. And as you guys can see right now, our temperatures are pretty cold, with lots of areas being below freezing. Like, look at that. Montana in the fifth, or I mean, I should say the single digits. North Dakota also in the single digits with maybe a -2. But if we continue to take this forward, as you guys can see, Arctic air will start to move in, which will bring a pretty good swath of cold air to parts of the United States. But then as that front heads out, we'll start to see this warm front move through, which will bring some pretty good warm-ups. This will keep our temperatures in the 60s, but yeah, we'll have to see very closely. And as you see, we continue to stay in the 50s, and we just continue and continue to stay in the 60s. Like, look at that. We could see 60 in Indianapolis. Wow, 61 maybe. Wow, that's some pretty hot temperatures right there, guys, especially for the winter. And as we continue to take this forward, let me just make sure where I was at. But as we continue to take this forward, we might start to see a huge warm-up. Wow, look at that, 60, 70s across this area. Wow, dude, that is super, super warm. Wow, even Arizona could see 80s. Wow, That's super warm, guys. We'll have to watch for a very, very significant warm up as we do head throughout the next few weeks, guys. Because this could definitely result in some well above average temperatures, guys. This is crazy on how these temperatures want to go up and down. It's pretty much like a roller coaster type setup where the temperatures will go down back to freezing due to that strong cold front moving through like we were talking about a few minutes ago, and then it will go right back up into the 60s and even the 70s across some of these areas, guys. Isn't that just crazy? This is exactly like a roller coaster type setup. So this is definitely some pretty massive cold fronts and warm fronts moving through that definitely can result in a roller coaster type setup for the temperatures, where the temperatures go up into the 60s and then down back to freezing. So it's pretty crazy, like I said, that the temperatures are choosing to do that, but that's just how it's gonna be, guys. That's just how it's gonna play out during the next few weeks or so. But we'll have to see how March plays out. We're still focusing on how March will play out, and I might even get ready to do a March forecast as we head at the end of February, but right now it's in the middle of February. But thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know I didn't do a video yesterday, but that's because we were very busy. I couldn't do a video, but other than that, I did do one today, so you guys should appreciate that, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. But like I said, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will do one tomorrow.